Kia ora koutou, ko Sharon Holt aho. I'm Sharon Holt, and today we're going to look at a question that somebody has asked me on our Patreon site, so that was pretty exciting to get a question, a request for a lesson which is about the pronunciation of the numbers in Te Reo. So it's following the same rules as that we have for everything else, emphasis on getting the vowels correct, a, e, I, o, u, or if there's a macron, a, e, I, o, u, having a break after every vowel, and if there's a macron, putting the emphasis on that part of the word. So, some people know already some of these numbers, but there might be some here that you don't know. For 0, one of the ways to say that is kore. So it's kore, because in English the E at the end often isn't pronounced, but in Te Reo Māori there are no silent letters. So everything is always pronounced. So the E at the end of the word is always pronounced kore, kore. For 1, some people say tahi and some people say kotahi. That means 1, ko tahi, kotahi. Kotahi. You can join in with me and practice because it's always good for your brain to hear your mouth saying these words. Rua. So if we're just counting rua, toru, wha, that's fine. And there's another video about putting e in front of this when you're talking about the number of things. But for counting itself, we'll just keep it simple. Rua. So the r is rolled in Te Reo. Rua, rua. So it's not rua because the r is the English pronunciation of the r. This is the Māori word, so it's r. Rua, rua, rua. And then we've got another r here. Toru. And this is always o, the letter o. A, e, I, o, u. Toru, toru, toru. This is the first one that we come to with a macron. So the number for 4 is fa. And there's a macron, so we just don't say fa, we say fa, because it's a bit longer. For 5, it's rima, rima, and the I is short, rima. It's not rima and it's not rima, it's rima, rima. 5. So normally when we're counting we start from 1, so you could say kotahi or tahi, rua, toru, wha, rima. So it's when you're learning something from the start, if you don't already know those, you can practice like that, just with the first 5 and then add the next. So 6 is o no, o no. Looks like oh no, but in Te Reo the o is always o no. And whetū, this is a short I, whetū. For 7, whetū. And the 2 is tu, because it's got a U after it. And for 8, waru. So there's that r again. Waru, waru. Iwa, iwa. So it's a short, no macrons over the vowels. So it's just iwa, the short sound for 9, iwa. And te kau. So 10 is te kau. And that's te kau, te kau, te kau. And the AU turns into O. O, 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 O. So te kau. In Te Reo, the numbers are pretty straight. I'll change to this colour. Pretty straightforward after that. So if it's between 11 and 19, then it's te kau mā, which is kind of like an and, te kau mā, and then whatever it is. So this would be te kau mā tahi, te kau mā rua. So if I said te kau mā ono, I would be talking about 10 and 6. So whereas we would say 16, in Te Reo we say te kau mā, and then whatever the, so this one is 11, whatever the numeral is after that. So for 14, it would be te kau mā wha, 10 plus 4, 10 and 4. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. This is obviously the basis to remember, and then after that, that's pretty straightforward. So, and then the same applies for the next lots of 10. So 20 is rua tekau. Rua tekau. So 20, anything after that up until 29 is going to follow the same rule. Ma. Rua tekau, ma, iwa would be 2 lots of 10, 20 plus 9, 29. It's a bit like maths. So rua tekau. So 30 is toru tekau, 40 is whā tekau, 50 is rima tekau, ono tekau for 60, whitu tekau for 70, waru tekau for 80, iwa tekau for 90, and then there's a different one for 100. So 100 is kotahi rau. Rau. So this word rhymes with this part up here, kau. Kotahi rau. And then 200 is rua rau, etc. So that's all the way up to there. Then if you do want to know 1,000, that's kotahi mano. Mano. And then 1,000,000 is down there, kotahi, and this is a transliteration, miriona. There might be other words for it, but this is the one that I've learned, miriona. Kotahi miriona for 1,000,000. Alright, so in terms of practicing and getting better at those, it's just like what we would have done when we were children. We would have practiced and practiced and practiced saying the numbers in order. But the most important thing actually, so we're just concentrating on this first, if you know all these off by heart, then that's a good thing to move on to, so that you can look at a number straight away and know how to say it in Te Reo. But first of all, make sure that you know these at the click of a finger. So how to do that is to have something like that up on the wall and looking at take away the reo and looking at the numbers. You could have the numbers on the fridge or something like that, and looking at the numbers, being able to straight away say waru for that and not have to think. Because if we're doing it in order all the time, it's not really helping our brain to figure out which one is which. So we need to be able to see them without the reo, just the numbers, magnetic numbers on the fridge, or just some sort of number chart that you've got without any Māori words. Have them at the beginning to learn them, and then afterwards take them away and just challenge yourself to point to certain ones, or get somebody else in the family to do that as well, so that you become really familiar with all these before you go on to these. And if you are familiar with that, then absolutely go on to these. And a good way of practicing that is with letterbox numbers is the word I'm searching for. So letterbox numbers are a great way to practice your knowledge of Te Reo Māori numbers. So whenever you're going somewhere, perhaps you're seeing a number on this, and there might be other numbers, not just on the letterbox, but then think to yourself, oh, how would I say that in Te Reo? And that's the way to practice, is just to keep your brain going over and over again what these numerals are and how to say them when they're more than 10. So hopefully that's a very good help to you. It's my pleasure to do that. I'm very encouraged by the feedback that I'm getting about all these videos, and thank you. And have any more questions, please send them to me. Ka kite.